All right.
Alright,
Mikey's missing.
Mikey's not here.
Okay.
Dr. Waddell is not in attendance. Alright, so just a couple things. One, you weren't here from the last meeting.
Nope.
The LERTA, we're just gonna keep on the agenda. We're not
Mhm.
really gonna push forward because there's,
No.
at this point, no funding for that, or, plus there's a lot more involved. So, we're gonna hold off, but we're gonna keep that on the agenda. The other thing is the Keystone Communities program. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember them.
Remember that packet
Yeah.
that you showed?
Mhm.
That's just an ongoing process that we're,
That was the guys down that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to get money to get the study done. That was like $35,000. But Terry Madison came up to me on the night of council and just said, hey, as we're progressing, just to make sure that we keep them in the loop, Main Street, because I guess some things are changing, but she didn't go into detail. So at our next meeting, we'll have them here as an update probably.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they're
How
part
long-
of
We
the
didn't wait them till
chamber.
next?
Yeah,
They're part of the chamber, right?
they are.
They are and
But
they are
they're
not.
Yeah, I know, it's that.
Let me ask you something. I mean,
Next meeting will be April. So
why would you be inviting them to the next meeting to give us an update on their progress?
They should, because normally that's the way we did this.
But we were funding them before.
We were, but.
I'm just asking because, you know, Mike
Well, I know Mike's stance on it,
kind of took that severance of
but this is.
ties, which I'm not comfortable with, to be
Well,
honest.
we took severance of ties because of, philosophical.
Well, no, it was funding.
Funding, right, but
Funding
also.
reasons. That's why we don't go to their meetings anymore.
No, I understand, but,
I'm just asking.
no, I think we still stay in communication with them. They still come to our meeting. If we don't have
Personally, I
anything
believe that
going,
we should have somebody at their meetings, even if it's me. Just
I-
because,
I-
especially,
I think it's a waste of your time.
but if we're doing this Keystone Communities thing, not only do we have to keep in contact with them, but they are kind of the underlying entity of,
They're like the glue that holds us together.
well, I don't know about that.
Well, you have to have
Keystone
the Main
Community
Street-
Program,
Yeah,
you have to have the Main Street program.
Yeah, they're the
Well,
glue
you need
that
one
holds
of
us.
those, yeah.
You need it to have a Keystone.
So,
But I don't think, I think you invite them to say, hey, how things going, progress on both ends.
okay, so I'll invite them to the next meeting.
Yeah, and that's a quarter, and then that'll be a quarter. Because it'll be April or March.
That's the day before Good Friday.
Just a quarterly update, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I mean, that's both, on both ends. We'll get an update from them, and they'll get an update from us. The other thing, Arts Commission, I wanted to ask you this one, is the one thing that I like the idea of the whole hallway thing.
Right.
But the one issue that I want to just bring up is like using council chambers as a performing place of performance.
Right.
Like,
I don't know.
what's happening with the artists? I know GA's kind of, isn't GA taking over that?
Well, Bob Bamer came to the GA meeting and, first of all, kind of jumped into the whole design plan that we have for Town Hall, which, to my knowledge, wasn't a public document, so I don't know how he knew about it yet, because we don't have we don't have the engineer sketch plans or any of that. None of that stuff is official, but he knew every
There's
detail
a
about it.
draft about it.
Yeah, but it wasn't released.
No.
He knew every detail about it. In that meeting, because we have two proposals. One of them is to bring the ambulance building department over here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to fly. I just don't think, after sitting down with the girls for a couple hours and really talking about it, I think it's going to cause more problems than it's going to solve.
Really?
Yeah, because you have to. They also act as the secretaries in that department. It does. I have a whole. You haven't gotten the notes from me yet because the meeting just happened this week, but
Right.
there's real legitimate reasons why that probably won't flow as smooth as
We thought.
what we thought it could.
Well, we were
and-
thinking that they were more like just building, you know, is it?
Yeah, and they're not. They're much more.
There's more in it.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, Donna kind of served as some of that administrative secretary type of thing when she was there, and that's not necessarily the case anymore. Like, those girls do more than just billing. So it creates a whole set of issues there. We'll talk about that as that time gets near. But the other, so that if they would have came over here, that would have bumped Kathy and I upstairs
Right.
because we wanted accounting all in one row.
Right.
So Arts Commission comes or Bob Bamer comes and basically says that no, he doesn't like that plan. We should move Public Works and Codes down to the basement. Which I kind of sat here blindsided because I didn't know we were having that conversation with the Arts Commission, first of all, let alone not even having that conversation with council yet.
Right.
But essentially they want to use the community room for poetry readings and to display some other artwork.
Now, who's handling this? Is this GA or is this a CRD thing?
Well, it's gotten bumped to
GA. Right?
GA.
It's a GA, right? 'Cause it was internal.
I guess
No, which I'm cool with. I
Yeah,
just want to make sure
now-
that I'm not overstepping my.
our
my
original
bounds on that.
our original plan was to put Kathy and I
Right up here.
across. No, the original plan was to put Kathy and I across the hall
Oh,
downstairs,
yeah, I'm sorry.
and then bring Codes, Public Works, and Paula back over.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's still our plan as long as the ambulance building did come over. The only reason the ambulance building when it came over was, well, space issues, security issues. We have 1,000 reasons, but
Right.
there's probably 2,000 for them not to come. So we talked about that, and then, you know, I kind of explained to him what we were thinking about. Got an email from Mike later in the day talking about really backtracking, and because he talked about this in the committee meeting. What committee meeting was it the other day? You were there.
No, I've been to too many already this week. I was at
You
Budget
going
and
GA?
Finance, I was at,
There was another one.
You're in health and sanitation?
It was at Health and Sanitation. I think he just kind of mentioned it there at the end. He had said that, you know, he would really like to see the basement, like a 3 to 5 year plan for the basement happen. And he had mentioned again that he thought that Public Works, and he called it the Public Works guys, but I believe he meant Codes and Public Works to go down to the basement. And our codes enforcement officer has to stay on the first floor. He gets almost as much traffic as billing. And if you separate Paula from either of those two, then you're kind of wrecking the efficiency of her serving as both their secretary. Although I have no opposition of maybe Jeff moving to one of the Public Works facilities with the rest of the department. It just makes sense that if she's their secretary, all three of them are together somehow, some way. So I really don't know where we are with the whole
I was just
town
concerned.
hall thing, but as I talked to him about that, and I said about that, then it came over that, well, okay, well, maybe we'll use the council chambers for performances, and we'll do music stuff and poetry readings and
the only problem you have is this
art
Well, you
stuff.
have this
Don't
table
work.
here, it's just, I think it's just, like I said, I like the whole idea of the hallway, but I think it just, it encroaches upon a boundary that's like, okay, we're a public building, but yet you're not I don't think it's the appropriate place to have a poetry reading in the community room and use this as a.
Well, they're looking for a community center, so they're calling.
My personal
basically
opinion
they're
is
looking for this.
the library's getting ready to expand,
Use one
and they
of the-
really don't know they really don't know
They have
exactly
that
what they're
beautiful
going to
room
do.
that you can rent for $10, or whatever it is.
Well, it's-
Literally, it's like 10
Yeah, I
or
know,
15
the
bucks.
back room, yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily, if nothing else is going on at all, do I have a problem with them performing in this room? No.
I don't know.
There are commission, you know, they could do that kind of thing. I mean, I guess the public building, they could do it.
I mean,
The only problem,
technically,
is we already have enough problems with double booking this place. I mean, we have commission meeting, council stuff all in the same night. Like the other night we were in this room, general authority was next door, and somebody was meeting in the basement earlier in the night. So, you know.
Like it.
That's another issue.
That's not me.
We'll get into that if you don't mind.
You've been
But,
nominated.
yeah, my only concern is like, how much are they gonna use this place? What kind of
I honestly
booking
don't-
issues
couldn't
are we
tell
gonna
you.
have here?
I couldn't tell you.
I guess you're right, because the reason I bring it up is just kind of like the same thing you're saying, is like, oh, why is this all of a sudden expanding to this?
And there's some other council members that were kind of taken by surprise with it too.
Yeah, that's why.
And you know, the question
I was trying to
really
see it.
ended up being, from them was, which one are we more concerned about first? The employees, making sure that they have secured, you know, in the right offices, or the Arts Commission having
Yeah.
poetry, because it kind of comes down to that.
No,
As far as
I
the,
think it goes with the first part.
as far as the basement is concerned, you know, the suggestion was that I get together with staff again and try to find out if we can figure out a 3 or 5 year plan for that basement. To be honest with you, I think that's more you guys.
Something has to be done with it. It's just
Because right now,
storage.
yeah, right now, why don't,
It's a mess.
hey, we fix it up, put an art gallery down there. You know, I mean, if they want to do poetry readings and things like that, fix it up, but we still have to do storage down there, we have to do, you know, you have to put your stuff somewhere. But I think to fix that basement, and to fix it right, and to fix up the bathroom down there, and to get rid of
Yeah,
the mold,
bathrooms are-
the mold and mildew that had been created, the issue with if you start a vehicle in the garage, that you smell the exhaust down in the
No,
basement.
Nice, that's just a
Um,
bonus.
Heating and air conditioning, the carpets, the walls.
Yeah, it's everything.
You're looking at 100 G's. I mean, you're looking at $100,000, I think easily. I think that bathroom will cost you no less than 15 by itself.
Oh, absolutely. It's horrible.
Because you're talking about all new plumbing, you're talking about ripping the whole guts of that thing out and starting over. I did that in my own house, and it cost me a heck of a lot more than I thought it would. Now imagine doing it down in the basement, because now you're talking about probably pressure pumps and, you know,
Digging up concrete.
yeah, you're probably talking about a lot of money. So for me to develop a 3 to 5 year plan with staff for the basement, I think really the conceptual concept needs to come from you as to
Okay.
what you guys would want to do down there. And maybe it's the artsy fartsy stuff down there. Maybe we develop it for that kind of stuff and some
Or you
meeting
just use
stuff.
it for commissions instead of using community rooms
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, that would be one key thing, is to use it for
All the commissions can
all
do
the
that.
commissions and
Parks
all
and
that
Rec.
stuff. And
So the-
everything,
so
sit at
the-
the table.
The Gen Ed meeting really kind of ended with a whole lot of nothing. You know, it was just Bob Amer kind of talking, and you know, me sitting there thinking, well, how much do I really need to respond to this guy about
No.
a plan that council already approved us to go forward to? But then Mike sent an email, and then we talked about it, health and sanitation. So they're gonna be pushing it a little bit.
I don't think we're gonna have, I'm not gonna.
Were you at the last meeting, at their arts commission meeting?
Yeah, I was.
Gen Ed voted to go
But
forward with.
They voted to go forward with the outside
Yeah, with the
hallway
hallway.
here. But that's contingent on like what our plans are for the building, because we were talking about in health and sanitation, this is where it came from. The forced air that we have here doesn't go into that room over there, so we have to cut and put ductwork through to get to that room, so we can get rid of the electrical heat that we have in there. So that was one of the concerns that we brought up, is that if you're gonna start redoing this hallway, and then you go and cut a hole and have to go, that's a waste of time. So, you know,
We're looking at it, we finally, for the first time in the 100 years we've had this building, finally traced all of the electrical. No,
To the breaker?
to
Yeah.
one breaker.
yeah.
One
Small one.
breaker.
It's a little one.
One little
And-
fuse, glass.
You can't figure out for the life of us why certain things are hooked in the wood, like my heat,
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't a
my
broken
funny
wire.
part. That's the,
Yeah,
I'm
and it's
trying to
way-
turn it off.
And it's way over here.
Yeah, it's way in here.
You know,
I turned it off, I turned it off on him when I left the
Did you?
Arts Commission meeting, yeah.
we have 2 or 3 breaker boxes on the first 2 floors here, and then we have 4 in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
my
mess.
goodness.
And they're not breaker boxes, I'm sorry, most of them are fuse boxes. So,
Glass.
So when was the arts commission dead, like, timeline?
They don't really have a timeline.
I
They're
thought it
just
was
trying to
like
push.
May or
They're
something.
just trying to push to get. it
for the
done.
hallway,
The hallway.
Mike is trying to get from May. We can make it happen, you know, I sat down and talked to,
But you're saying if there's construction going on, you don't want to do that?
Well, I'm concerned that if we try to get, because Brian said the same thing, what if we wanted to put forced air in there and get rid of the air conditioner and the electricity, and that in that room over there.
What are you gonna do, off the zone here?
A heat pump.
The heat pump. They're putting pumps in.
That's one of the proposals, to be able to fix the heating and AC in the building as heat pumps. It's actually probably the least expensive proposal.
Right. So
that
if you
we're
put
gonna
heat
come
pumps
up with.
in, you're gonna have to get rid of that electrical heat and the air conditioner over there.
We're finding out that there's more above this drop ceiling than what you'd think.
Oh, I can only
When they
imagine.
fix systems, they just kind of build over the old systems.
And they left it there?
Yeah, like Jeff said.
Oh, you're supposed to like rip that stuff out?
Yeah, Jeff said like there's a lot of things up in the ceilings.
No way, that's cool.
That,
You
There's
don't
probably a lot
want
of
to know.
scrap metal up there. God,
well, he said we have a small fortune.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Between that and your jail cells.
Yeah. So it's all kind of, I think they were just trying to get a feeler, the
Okay.
Arts Commission. I really kind of think that's where they were going with it, to see what the reaction would be. But they're definitely going forward with this hallway.
Yeah, the hallway's cool.
Well, you need to take a look at those cases out in the garage.
Well, they needed a lot of work. Jeff said they needed work.
Those cases are not.
Oh, they don't need work, they need to go to garbage. Right?
That's my thought.
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't seen them. I
Oh,
haven't.
it's got.
That's kind of like going to the junkyard and pick up more junk. I mean, that's kind of what we did with those two.
Yeah,
The two downstairs,
They
our
came out all
guys,
right.
our guys did a lot of work to them. I mean,
They look good.
They look okay, but the others, well,
haven't
I
seen
wouldn't
them.
I
put
don't think
them.
they're salvageable.
Yeah, I won't put them in this building. I'll tell you that.
I have to look at them. I haven't seen them.
I mean, we appreciate the fact. I mean, we know what they wanted to do with them. We appreciate that, but I just don't think we can cover those things up the way that we did with the other two.
Okay.
Flag Day, you said you wanted to.
Yeah, so Flag Day.
Hey.
June 14th on a Friday night. March Heatley wants it.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. That went in front of the Parks and Rec Committee,
Oh, it did?
and because March Heatley wanted the book, that pavilion,
Yeah.
and Jessica told her that's above my authority because the senior citizens already booked it for that night.
What senior citizens?
Senior Citizens Organization.
Oh, they have, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They booked the Arts Pavilion for that Friday, and they booked it way back when they were supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So they have it,
So they have it booked. Now Marge said to Jess, well, you know, they have no problem with it. We'll do our event right after them that night, and everything will be fine because they'll all be gone by then. Jess said, I don't have the authority to double book.
okay.
Took it to Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec said, no way. They said, no way. You know, what if the Senior Citizens Organization, we have no idea what time they're doing their thing, quite honestly. We're not going to ask them because they booked
Right, they got the thing.
They
for
booked
shooting-
the pavilion for that day. They book it every year.
Okay.
It's there. It's, you know, they were there first. We informed Marge that, and of course she's not happy.
Of course.
And she made the statement that you know, she wants to talk to somebody over Jessica's head because she's
That'll
gonna
be
get
you.
she's gonna get the approval.
Who's that? You?
We're pointing it at you.
Yeah.
Ah,
You.
nice.
I know that Marge is.
anything.
I know that Marge is your. Well, it's just the conversation with Jessica and Marge happened today, apparently.
Oh, so you should check your email.
I'll be getting emails.
So, I know that you talked to Marge. Well, I mean, I was just going to send her a letter saying, you know, and
Unfortunately.
yeah, and then if you have any questions, call me. Which as soon she gets it, she's going to call me. But if you want to talk to her personally.
I can.
And you know what? If she wants to coordinate it in conjunction with the senior citizens, that's between them.
That's not us.
But that's not us. There's only one group that's booked for that day. Parks and Rec Committee felt that, you know, we're not going to push the senior citizens group. We're not going to, you know, we're not going to tell them you have to be out of there by this time.
Absolutely.
And not to mention, because Marge said, like, they'll be out of there by 4 o'clock and my event starts at 6. And our thought was, yeah, but we're going to have to clear tables or whatever it is we would have to do. We'd have to reset it up. We'd have to do all this, which means we're going to have to call people back into work that day, which is an overtime issue for the Public Works Department, which we've already cut the staff for that department.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. We're going to have to pay them, you know, their call-out time to do that, to come back. Quite honestly, to do for what good reason? You know.
For an hour event.
Yeah.
Hour 15 minutes. Yeah, I can talk to her. She's been pushing to change it from a Sunday to a Friday, to the actual.
Well, the Flag Day itself,
Flag
which
Day.
makes sense.
Well, what was happening is that she was putting on a Sunday that would compete with the high school's graduation, and so people wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't as full as it used to be and things of that nature.
It makes sense that she wants to have it on Flag Day.
That's fine. I just told her, she's the president of Flag Day.
Yeah. She wants to coordinate between her and the senior citizens group that booked it.
Let her do it.
Let her do it,
Yeah.
but we're not going to, on our end, we're not going to.
Well, I'll just share that with her, that, and she can do it, feel free to do that, but for us, they have it booked and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the position of the Parks and Recs Committee.
It just convolutes the whole situation. Let them have their day there.
Yeah, well, and what if those people decide to stick around till 5:30, or
till
what
10?
if the pavilion's not the way that she wants it, or what if none of the sound stuff is out? I mean, we don't. Do we really want to get into that battle? And that was really the conversation that the committee had. So, however you want to handle it, Nate.
Yep.
Because you're their speaker.
It's you.
I'm their MC.
Good job.
Yeah, Mike Waddell should do this. He's the one that's like, oh, we need some young blood. Then he
Good
left.
luck.
And then he left. I play Mike all the time. All right. Anything else, guys?
No, hey, the video project, you weren't interested in doing that?
No.
Why not?
Why? For what?
For marketing purposes.
I know. I saw that you saw. I knew you were going to jump all over that.
Well, of course I was. It's
what are we
free.
marketing? What are we marketing?
Town.
But
Borough.
What is it? What did we? That was my question. I knew that immediately. Yeah, that's going to be all over this, and I thought Mike would be all over it. But for me, it was just like the newsletter's good enough, for us.
I think it gives outsiders.
It just gives a
Well, you're
nice impression of the town, and people
Why don't we work on our
respond to
website
video.
first?
Well, we can if we can get some funding for
Yeah,
it.
if you
We're
budget it.
perfectly fine.
Well,
Budget
you're the
for
one
it.
that's supposed to budget that. I'm not.
You tried to cut
I gave
full-time
you
employees.
Yeah.
You were going to fund the website upgrade?
I got
Pretty
priorities.
difficult. Pretty difficult. If you don't have
You're
funding for the
killing me.
website, you can't have an upgrade. So,
Let me ask you this. That's great that they're offering that service,
yes, and it's free.
which is fine.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to spearhead it, dude, go ahead, but I'm going to stay out of this one.
You are? Why?
Because I don't think we need it. Here's the thing, why don't we use the website? Why don't we put a promotional video on the website?
That's what that
But
does.
that's what that does. They give
I
it
thought
to
that was a separate thing. Why would we have to use them as a service? Why don't we use whoever built our website, which is Trifecta?
Are we gonna pay Trifecta to
We're
do
not
that?
gonna pay Trifecta to do video work when this company's gonna do it for free.
There's gotta be a catch there.
They said,
I
I
explained
read
that,
through
yeah,
the whole thing.
I
didn't
explained,
know
I
how.
explained that
I did.
in your email. The
I
way
did.
that
It sits on their servers, and then they give us code to embed it anywhere we'd like
in our website.
in our website.
And
Now,
it's paid for by advertisers, like, and
Fundraising.
they all go do that, yeah. They go do all that legwork. Like,
Yeah, they do.
They'll go to our metas and ask them if they want to advertise their website or a video on it, and in the center would be our video, if somebody clicked on it, and then around it would be
All right, let me ask you this.
little icons.
So-
And that's why you were invited to do a webinar / teleconference with them at 4:15 today, so
I had a
that they could
meeting.
answer your questions.
Well,
missed
let
it.
me ask you a question though. All right, so Main Street had they have a,
no, Main Street does not
no,
have.
they had, I'm sorry, the link to the cameras down on the triangle.
Yes, that's through Service Electric.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. So,
Those are feeds.
I understand.
They're not promotional. They just show somebody walking their dog.
Well, that's promotional.
No, that's not. That's no one. First of all, they hardly ever work.
Well, we need to update that.
The cameras are always down. They're just live feeds. You don't have a person.
So why would
talking
Main
directly
Street come
you.
to us and say, hey, we want to use your website? We want to advertise on your website?
Who? Main Street.
Yeah, why would Main Street come to us and do that?
Do what? The video? I'm confusing what you're talking about.
No, so you're going to promote, whoever. The guy
Emmaus.
goes- Yeah.
It's an Emmaus
It's
video.
an Emmaus video, and then
Who's going to be on the video?
Whoever they decide.
The mayor?
The mayor can
The
be.
mayor can be
person
interviewed,
talking.
you can be interviewed if you'd like.
No, I don't wanna
If
be
you would love to
interviewed.
be on the video.
No.
The people of Emmaus,
I
the
think-
town, the
I think before you
business, the
decide, you
school.
need to go back and revisit that email.
Look at the link, there's a link
All right,
to
I'll
another.
look
I think Altoona
who-
City.
It was the
I
best
say
thing.
shut it down, but.
I think it was the city of Altoona has, Bethlehem, one of the Bethlehems, whether it's the city or the township has it.
Yeah. Video's good.
We need this, before we get a
Strong.
stinking video that's free, we need to get pay online.
No,
Yeah.
that goes back, that's.
Free or pay
online.
online? Free.
That pay online costs us $60,000.
That's
No,
you
that pay
guys.
online wasn't part of your contract.
Well, that's a bull ass. We should have it part of the contract.
I
It's a
wasn't
whole different
involved.
company.
Why weren't you involved in that?
I wasn't
Because
elected.
neither one of us were here at that
I was not elected when you guys made the decision.
time. We're just trying to clean up the mess.
And now I'm aggravated with it, I'm angry, and
I'm ready to
I'm
throw
not
them all
saying,
out.
and I'm not saying a single thing
Go
about the
ahead.
software. Because it's not my voice to be yelling and screaming about it, because I didn't make the decision.
I was hoping
The
that
decision was made 2 years before either of us came here.
Yes.
we could put PayPal in there, my God.
You
That has
could,
nothing,
but
pay,
that doesn't.
that online bill pay has nothing to do with the software itself.
It was just a bad idea.
It's the software that's the problem. That online bill pay company is ready to go and take our money anytime we want.
Sure they are, because they're probably associated with this software application. The problem is, if the software doesn't run, there's no way no one's gonna take.
And we don't have the
secure
utilities
credit card.
management program up yet, so you can't do online bill pay.
Why
if
is
you don't-
that not right?
Because that's the part that's gonna cost us the
That's your
extra
60 grand you just approved.
17.
No way.
17
Right.
to finish the thing.
I'll come in here and do it for $500.
You won't do it, and there's nobody gonna, it's a
I'll set up
proprietary
PayPal.
software, you're not gonna
I'll set up
go
PayPal, Peachtree,
in. What, Google checkout?
Google
Yeah.
Drive.
That doesn't,
It doesn't solve the issue.
it's still not the issue.
The
You're not
issue is
bad.
you wanna go online and pay your bill online,
All right,
great,
I'll look
that
at it.
money should go
Yeah.
to one
All
account.
right, I'll
We'll
look
give
at
you,
it.
we'll give you whatever, you want PayPal, go ahead, but where's it going to?
Yeah,
We have
your
no accounting
personal
system to
account.
put that into.
Yeah, no, and what are you running for?
No, I'll read that email and,
I think just revisit it.
I think it's you know what, it's a free service,
so you're
take
just,
advantage of
taking
it.
it free, a little bit of marketing.
It's good marketing.
It's a lot of marketing.
It is.
Well, it's, the
Yeah.
whole topic was, is that, are we a tourist town, like a tourist type town? And we're really not.
Well,
more
we're not,
livable.
but I think it's, if somebody sees it, they get, okay, let's just put it in perspective. What if I live in Danville? All right, let's say Danville.
Berwick, let's say Berwick.
Well, let's go Danville.
Danville, you do not want to live in Berwick. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true.
So,
Danville, all right.
so you live in Danville, and you want to move to somewhere in the Lehigh Valley.
You got a
And
job
do
at
some
a new
research.
hospital.
Right.
All right.
You
You
do
move
some
from Geisinger
research.
to LVU.
And you find this video, you know, you'll find it depending on where you put it, okay? You stumble upon a video. The video discusses the way of life here, the people, the businesses, the school district, I'm sure will be part of it. You know, that type of thing, and you watch it and you say, well, that seems like a really nice place to go. You're gonna come here to visit. That's all it is. It's just a marketing tool to let people know what the town's like. It's not like, it wouldn't be like doing it for downtown Bethlehem, where downtown Bethlehem is all this business and Arts Quest and all these other things. We don't have that here.
Right.
We just have a nice town.
Right, the livability of it.
Right. And that's all they're probably gonna do with the video. They're
Who
not
shoots the
going
video?
to.
They do.
They do everything.
They're,
They're gonna do everything for free.
you weren't
Would
paying
you
attention
read the
earlier, were you?
email?
I gotta watch that movie, the video.
Move.
What I told you earlier.
All right, I'll watch,
that
I'll read your email.
The video is paid for by them going out and getting advertising.
Yeah, I know, I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's just,
No,
Something
these
shady.
people probably pay out the rear to get advertising on there.
Right. Now, the video may not get done if they don't get enough advertising. I'm sure that's part of a contract that you enter into. And in that, we don't have a contract in front of us, and we'd have to read it and make sure that nothing states in the contract that if for some reason they can't, obtain this much dollars, they may come to us and ask us to fill the rest, which I don't want that to happen. You just have to,
You gotta read it.
You gotta
find
read it.
why
look
don't you
at it.
spearhead this then?
I will. Well, why don't you look at it?
All right, I'll look at it. But after I look at it, we'll make a decision at next meeting, and then
Fine.
we'll hand it off to you.
So do you want to pay for the new website now too?
Yeah.
You want to write me a check?
I want to PayPal.
Out of your PayPal account. The one that you're collecting the bills with? Oh, yeah.
Can we redo our website, please?
We could.
We've
The
talked
layouts-
about that multiple times.
The layouts are already done. They're just not, they're not gonna be done until you can pay for some software. That's all.
We're looking at what, 2,600, I think, right?
Total with the hosting and everything, yeah. Yeah, it was really inexpensive. But, you know, you have to buy the hardware. Well, not the hardware, the software. I'm not gonna buy it.
No donation?
There is donated time. There's several days of donated time in there.
Money.
No, time is
You
money.
don't feel that in your heart?
No, I haven't, my heart's.
Trifecta is begging, trust me, they're begging for us to change that website because it's nothing but a mess.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
video's
yeah.
down, I mean, everything's always down. There's always something down with this website.
Maybe it's the server.
No, it's how it's built.
No, it's okay.
For a while there, every time you type in our web address, it was going to some children's with disabilities. And there was a forum.
Oh, I think I hit that one. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell's going on?
I got a phone call or a Facebook posting going, something's wrong with your website. Why? And of course, on our end, on our computers, if you
Looks
typed it
fine.
in, it looked fine.
Yeah, because of internal.
So I tried it from my cell phone. I was going, wait a minute. How did that happen?
Florida's voice.
Alright,
So.
I'll look at it next month, and then next month we'll make a decision. And if we do, we'll let
It's fine.
the guy to do it.
Yeah, the website is a big issue. We should redo it. There's a lot of things we could integrate into
And
the
then
site.
anything that has to do with
that-
fire department, I'll take care of, because I do that.
What are you talking about?
Ambulance.
We're not talking about the fire department.
Oh.
That's your community relations. You're in charge of that. Speaking of, how are your meetings going over there? Good?
I had my wedding anniversary,
I'm not asking about your wedding.
but I didn't go to the meeting, because I had my wedding
Oh,
anniversary.
ooh.
You go to the meeting. That was this past Sunday.
Now, how are we supposed to get an update?
They got 3 tablets, 3 Samsung tablets,
Who did?
fire department.
Why?
For their, one goes in the chief's vehicle and 2 go in the trucks. For, if they,
That wasn't funded through us.
I
no,
know that.
it was funded through a fireman's insurance association.
Okay, fine.
And they put stickers on them.
It has software in it too and direction.
Yes.
Stuff.
GPS.
It's more than just a
I
sticker.
was gonna say.
Mr. iPad himself over here. Where's your iPad, by the way?
Is that
Lose it?
home? I don't know, I just try to, ask for simple couple things here, but but anyway.
Any other thing? Did they install those, things in the triangle? I didn't go over and look at them.
Yes,
Escape things.
we should go down and walk right now.
I honestly didn't go over and look at them.
They are there.
They are?
Yeah.
They look decent?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't look bad. Your wireless internet, we did have Integra in here. We want to place it in 2 spots. One
Oh, we can't do it.
here and one downstairs.
What?
Because
You
of
have
the
one?
wall.
You have wireless in here, right?
No,
No.
they got disconnected.
Oh, and why can't you put wireless in here?
We can.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
For
Yeah.
$16,000.
No.
We're
How
looking at-
much?
We're looking at putting 1 box in here and 1 box down on the first floor.
Correct.
I don't have a quote on it.
You're just gonna network the 2 boxes.
Yeah.
So you what, your server?
Yeah, it's going to be a non-broadcasting service.
Mhm.
So that way you have to, it's not going to show up on anybody. If you're sitting here with your laptop, it's not even going to show up that there's a link.
There's a network.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not even going to show up as a
I was
network.
jealous when the fire department said, yeah, we got 3 tablets, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't even get anything scanned in my email from this place because the copier stinks.
Budget me a copier.
But, so you
I
need a copier.
did, what happened to it?
No, you budgeted the police department a copier.
Yeah, you did.
And what about the, oh, yeah, we're gonna bring the other copier, yeah, that copier stinks too, because it doesn't.
Oh yeah, they both do.
My God, can we get to the 21st century?
Slowly. Take your time. We don't have any money to get there.
Alright,
Any other relationship stuff?
I don't know,
Community relations?
I wanna do, personal bills before We're done. John, you got any personal appeals?
Nope.
Because we're done now.
What about, Community Days is going on, so you know all about that. We had our meeting.
Yeah, that's parks, that's more or less Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Well, with the setup, that is.
It is. And then whatever they're doing with vendors. And I guess the clam bake is the same day? Is that true?
For Main Street?
That hasn't
yeah.
gotten approved yet.
We were talking about it at the meeting, and I was like, I'm not sure it was approved yet.
Yeah, that wasn't approved yet.
Okay.
Parks and Recs committee's still kind of uneasy about it.
Are they? Aren't they far off, though, like, in that back pavilion?
Yeah, the committee still has to talk about an email response from the Main Street partners. I think it'll get approved now, but at their last meeting, they were uneasy about it. And I think it's because the last clam bake was a bad experience for the borough.
Okay.
Somebody driving the car around, and the music overshadowing the concert. I guess there was some hoopla about the event, so.
Now, the Parks and Recs Commission wanted to do a car show the same day, too. So I wasn't sure, do they have
Parks and
to?
Rec Commission want to do?
Yeah, for Community Days.
Oh.
So they wanted to have a small club come in and show their cars, pick a club.
Where are they gonna put
Corvette. They were gonna put them near the shooting range on that grass back there.
Corvette for kids?
Yeah,
But should they go through Parks and-
there's one issue that I would mention though. There's baseball and softball games going on down there.
Not that day.
Or
Community Day?
Well, there is, but they'd have it from a time period before the baseball game starts. The softball game is way up on the other field.
Right,
So-
which isn't a big issue.
Yeah,
You're in my meeting.
We have to go somewhere?
Yeah, I'm busy.
Go ahead.
Motion to adjourn.
So,
All in favor?
favor. as long as
Say
you-
aye.
Aye.
Say it. Aye. 502.